Hi there, welcome. I'm Ghost Prime. We're going to do this video a little differently here, showing the figure. We're going to do a versus with this Bumblebee, the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, as well as the Netflix Bumblebee from a few years ago. Kind of see which one fits better as a character and maybe even in your collection. And here's Studio Series 86 Bumblebee in his packaging. You got a robot mode picture right there with his robot mode on the inside. Completely just like the other ones, no plastic there. I like how they're doing it more, but not on these yet. I wish they would get the plastic back in there. Transformers the movie on the top. There's Studio Series 86 with Bumblebee's face on the side, B on the side, and then 23 steps to get from robot to car mode. And a little picture there with the backdrop. So after you get the box open and everything, of course he has a set of instructions. He does come with one accessory, which is this little pistol here. And he has a backdrop. It's a weird backdrop for this character. You think there would be a different one, maybe something on Autobot base or something like that. You can place the rifle in his hand like so, either side, or there is a peg here where you could plug it in to the back. So first thing, we'll get a look at the character, or the figure. And his head is actually okay. He's got a decent looking head sculpt. He's got a faux window right there, just sort of mimic the cartoon. A very big chest. Bit of a backpack on him. And moving on down, he's got sort of the traditional Bumblebee pelvis there. Some detail on the legs, which remind me of the G1 figure, not the cartoon. In fact, a lot of this reminds me of the figure, not the cartoon. I'll get into that. Painted bumper, painted headlights, painted rims, pinned wheels. So yeah, not too bad looking. Articulation goes, it's pretty standard for these. You know, arms out like this, bicep swivels, 90 degrees there. He has wrist swivel, which is nice. Head will go 360 degrees. A little bit of looking up, a little bit of looking down, not a lot. He does have waist, legs up. That happens. His knees are tight joints. Knee goes down. He does have thigh swivel. Leg out to there. Leg back to there. Up to there. And you could point his toes if he wants. He also has a ankle tilt, which is weird because it's up here. And that sort of gets me to the first weird design of him. His feet are huge. I mean, he always has huge feet, but these are just extra huge. So getting into comparison, here he is with the cartoon model. And what's interesting about this is definitely more like the toy. The cartoon model here, these would be blue windows and maybe a little bit of like a grayish, instead of a black for the black parts like they've done before some of these, the toy recolors or the cartoon recolors of them. Kind of interesting that he looks a lot like the toy rather than the cartoon. And speaking of the toy, here he is with the Generation 1 toy, as you can see there from the side. He is much more bulky. She's very big in the top, where, you know, of course, this one only has the top of the car there, and it's super squared off. You know, the whole top of this vehicle here, or the chest, really reminds me a whole lot of Bumper or Bumble Jumper here. As you like, it just looks a whole lot more like this guy, even more so than I think the Buzzworthy Bumblebee did, which is, I think, is kind of interesting. I don't have the Buzzworthy Bumblebee, unfortunately. Finally, here he is with the Netflix Bee. Now, I actually asked my wife about which one of these looks better, and the first thing she said is, "Why is he orange?" So I guess that would be a point onto the Studio Series B. Now, the gray is not super black. It shows, or the black is not super black. It does show up as kind of grayish here when you compare it. So maybe I was just looking at it wrong, because looking at these two together, it really comes off as a little bit more gray. But there he is from the side. So they have basically the same sort of shape. There are a couple things. So let's start with the head. All right, and we're going to try to compare the two head sculpts here. So this one is very much more G1. We've got the big chin. Where this is a little bit more refined on the chin area, a little more detail on the cheeks. You got some nicer looking organic lips, where his are very odd proportions on this one, I think. Maybe a little bit more like the cartoon, but I think the proportions are odd. I think maybe gonna have to just tie them on the heads because they are so different. We move on to the arms. I mean, they're practically the same. They got the same thing. They're pretty much tied there. The arms. The chest is a weird one because the chest is more rounded on this one. It gives it more of a Bumblebee feel, where this one, again, looks like more squared off, kind of like Bumble Jumper. They both have pretty much the same backpack. The legs, his legs are super skinny, again, like the G1, where his legs actually have some weight to them. The crotch piece there it's a weird little triangle, where this one's actually like the cartoon. And the feet are massive on this one. And seeing these two side by side really exemplify just how big his feet are by comparison. So it's a really weird one. I mean, it's really, really weird, especially since this one doesn't look a lot like the cartoon, where this one, I think, kind of looks a little bit more like the character. So we're going to move on to transformation. Now, I really do think that's where this figure shines a bit, is transformation, because transformation on this is actually really fun and has no parts forming bits. I'm going to remove the gun because it might fall off. What I do is take this. Now, this back piece here, in the box, it was up like this. But if you take these little two tabs right there, you put it in there, and that's super solid. But I'm going to go ahead and just move that up like that. I'm going to take this piece right here and open it. Now, this is a kind of a weird, clever way to do this. Take his head, and that's on a separate hinge, and put that in there. And then that's this whole assembly up. We're just going to leave it out like this for now. And then turn it around, take the arms, move those out, the wheels out, turn them around like so. And then take these arms, bend them at the elbow, bend them, and fold them in like that. And this piece comes and forms the back part of the car. This now, take the waist comes around and tabs in right there. And then this is almost the same. So this is something new and something kind of weird that he put in there. And I know why they put it in there, because so it's level with the wheel and doesn't just skate around. But it's kind of an interesting sort of design. You untab that, swing that open, push that down, then push this one down. Same on this side. Untab, swing open, push down, and that lines up right there. And then what we do is we take the feet, and this is actually the hood of the car. You can see the Autobot logo right there. Take that, all the way around. And then the knee is going to bend backwards. Like that. And then go ahead and just put those up. Make sure they're flush. And they all just tab in. And so try to get all these tabs lined up and push it all together. And there he is in car mode. Now, car mode, I think it's a mixed bag. It's got, I don't know if you can see it on camera there, you can pick it up a bit. This is plastic. This is plastic, and the yellows don't match up. The yellow doesn't match up again here or here, which is kind of a third color. I'm not seeing it on my camera too well, but this is different than these other two yellows. This is a completely different yellow than this yellow, different yellow than this yellow, which is a different yellow than this yellow. It's really strange. So the yellows just don't match up at all. And then you get this weird piece here in the front, which I'm wondering if they're going to repaint this. But you do get an Autobot logo that shows up on the where would have been the foot now, and that's kind of a clever little way to do that. All in all, you got the tail lights done, you got the back there like the cartoon. But if you look, flat, really flat. It's not like rounded at all, like it should be in the cartoon. So here's the cartoon model right here, so you can see that how different it is. It's not a VW. It's actually not a VW at all. And I think it's because they don't have the license. They would have had to pay extra for the license. And this does not have the license. And for a Studio Series, in my opinion, they should have had the license. And you can check him out. There he is next to the G1. Now, one really cool thing about this one, it does retain that penny racer aspect, especially when you add the gun to the back. It just feels very penny racer. You see the big wheels. This one is much more toyetic than cartoon. Again, weird for a Studio Series release. There for the back and the side, but you could really tell the difference. So this is a VW, and this obviously is not. Again, probably because of licensing. There he is with Bumble Jumper. You can really see where this looks just like this. It's not a whole lot different. The hood is different than Bumble Jumper. Lastly, there he is with the Netflix. Now, there's zero comparison here, really. This is not at all like this. These are completely different things. This is an accurate Volkswagen. Looks like a 1302 Super Beetle, where this one is not even a Volkswagen. But let's take it from just a car standpoint. So both of them are fairly panely and have some gaps and are not exactly matching colors, although this one matches a lot less than this one. This one matches way better than this one does. And this is orange, so this is yellow, so it looks more like Bumblebee. You got these panels here that can't seem to get to stay in there. Which one rolls better? This one rolls like a champ. This one rolls way better. This one rolls almost like a Hot Wheels car does. That's how good this thing rolls. But that's them together. Lastly, we're bringing my resident expert on all things Bumblebee, my daughter. Which one do you think looks more like Bumblebee? This one or this one? Go ahead and point.
So this one looks like Bumblebee and that one doesn't.
Why doesn't that one look like Bumblebee?
Because the color.
Because the color? Is that the only reason?
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason?
Yep.
Okay. So he gets a point for the color. But to conclude this, both of these are pretty good. He has a better sculpt. He has a better transformation. He is more accurate to Bumblebee, in my opinion. And all in all, I think they sort of even out. If you don't mind that Bumblebee's not a VW, then I think this one's a perfectly suitable, not replacement, but a suitable in your collection. If you have this one already, I can't see a reason to get this one. This one just really says Bumblebee to me. All except for the color, of course. This one is yellow. I really feel that this one makes a better Bumblebee. Although, gotta say something for the transformation on this. The transformation on this is excellent. It's super fun to do. It's super easy. It's one of those, it's a fiddle former where you can just transform it back and forth, and it rolls exceptionally well. So fun. This one is more fun than this one. But this one is a better display piece than this one, in my opinion. But to each their own. Let me know which one you think is better in the comments, and I'll see you in the next review.